Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben, your go-to podcast for all things green and growing. I'm Ben, your allotment guide, and here to help you cultivate your garden and your passion for plants. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, this podcast is for you. Each episode will dig into tips, tricks and techniques to make your garden and allotment thrive. From planting, sowing and growing, we will share all the tips and advice. We will also have regular episodes talking about what we have been up to on the allotment. So sit back, grab a brew and enjoy today's episode. Hey everyone and welcome to Gardening with Ben for a brand new week of episodes. I hope you're all well. It's Monday. Yes, most of us will be back at work, but some obviously work shifts and stuff like me. So we've worked for the last couple of days, working today, got 2 more days after this, and then we've got 4 days off. So it's always good to start a brand new week with making a list of all the jobs that you need to do in the garden. Now, what I tend to do is I just tend to spend 10 minutes going around my plot, just writing down all the jobs that need doing for the week ahead. Yes, there is a lot of jobs that need doing, like weeding and tying things up and stuff like that. But if you write a quick list, it's always good to then tick it off once you've completed it and you feel like you're getting somewhere with doing the garden. And another thing I tend to like to do is I like to take regular pictures of my allotment so that it can show the progress of the plot over the year and how it's come on and formed really, and how well you've got on. So it's always good to take visual pictures as well. And one thing I might try one year is stand in the same spot every day and take a picture and then try and put it through like a fast feed to show its progression throughout the year and see what it actually looks like, see if we can actually do it and get it looking good throughout the year. That would be one thing that I would like to try and do. So if you are listening to this, remind me to do that next year, beginning of January, and we'll take a year's worth of pictures and splice them all together and see what it comes out like and see the progress throughout the year, or no progress. Depends what sort of year I've got ahead of me. But yeah, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about making a plan, having a good allotment layout. And this is quite vital, really, as over the years of having my allotment, it's about 17, 18 years I've had my allotment now, an absolute long time. In fact, I think it must be going on 20. I'm sure I got it when I was 18. So yeah, nearly 20 years I've had my allotment. Wow. And it's still got a lot of work to do to it, definitely. So, what have we been up to? So, we have been trying to plan our allotment out and get it better every single year. I try to invest in my allotment a bit every single year and make a few improvements to it. And eventually, by the time I retire, it'll probably be all nice and tidy and hopefully weed free, but I doubt it somehow. But we try to create a plan and a design and put it together to make the allotment look a lot better and easier accessible. And some things I've not realised until I've done it, if it's worked or not, or if it needs adjusting. And what I tend to do at the beginning of the year, while there's nothing growing on the allotment whatsoever and stuff like that, I tend to get a piece of paper out and draw my allotment of how I would like it to look. And that can be from my shed to my polytunnel to my fruit areas to where my paths are going to be to how the exact layout is going to be. And I'll often write down as well what I'm going to be growing in the certain areas. And over the years, like I say, I've invested in certain areas and improved it. And quite a long time ago, probably about 10 years ago, I improved all my rhubarb and fruit tree area. I completely stripped it out. I cleared it all. I dug out all the rhubarb plants, what had been in there from the beginning of the time since I had the allotment. I dug them all out. I black membraned it all. I laid paving slabs down for the path. And yeah, that has been the same position for the last 10, 15 years, and it has served a purpose. So sometimes investing in certain areas and improving them can get them better, and you can tick it off as that area is complete and you're happy with it and how it's looking from, and you think, right, I can move on to a different area of the allotment next year and invest in that area. You don't have to invest in your allotment, obviously, but I don't have a garden at home, so it's the place where I do like to spend a bit of money on it and making it better and nicer. And this year on my plan, what I drew a new seating area. And again, I black membraned it all, I wood chipped it all. I purchased a nice chair to sit on, which wasn't a cheap chair. It was like £70, and it was a handmade chair. But it's somewhere that I actually go and sit and enjoy the allotment now. And I sit there for about half an hour before I start my allotment in the morning and just chill out, relax, take it all in, and enjoy it and have my morning coffee down there in the morning. And it's in a good sun trap as well. So it's nice to get a bit of sunshine on the face in the morning. And I've still got lots of areas what I do need to improve on the plot. Like I've also improved my shed this year. It still needs a lot of work on the inside of it, but on the outside of the shed, it's fantastic. We've rebuilt it all. We've built the extension on it over winter, and that was one big project what me and my dad did. And it's one that I can tick off as finished now and sorted. That is all done. But I may be possibly having to do out all my inside of the shed this winter. That might be a plan of what I need to do this year, because there's bindweed growing everywhere and it's just a mess. It's just a tip. So I might completely strip it on the inside, dig it all over and start from scratch on the inside. But stay tuned for that, because it might need a lot of work doing to it. I'm one of these that'll start something and think, why did I start it? I should have not done this. I should have left it as it is. But we'll see. Hopefully, we get a lot of stuff sorted and get it ready for next year. Now, obviously, I draw a plan of where all my main vegetable beds are going to go, and I've got all them sorted now. They're all in the right position. Yes, I do need some more wood to replace them and to fix some of them what have had it and rotted, as I've used the same wood probably for about 15, 16 years now. And the frames on the beds are had enough of some of them, and they've got to the end of the time. But that's all looking good. And the other year I did the top of my plot. I cleared all that, got all that ready, got a nice herb area at the top of my plot. I've not touched it this year, so it's a mess again. Don't tell anyone. I won't show you that on video. But it is good to plan and show what's going off down at the allotment. And even if you start off small when you're having an allotment, when you're starting from scratch with an allotment, it's best not to do it all in one go, as it can become overwhelming. Like I've seen people go down, rotivate it all, clear it all, and there's not a single weed there. And then a few weeks later, because you've rotivated it, there's thousands of weeds growing back everywhere. And if you've got something like bindweed in your allotment and you use a rotivator, you're going to be stuffed for years to come. So it's good to start off small sometimes, like maybe just cover the full length of your plot in black membrane to keep the weeds down and peel it back a bit every single year until you get to the top of your plot. Don't try and do it all in one go and think that you're Alan Titchmarsh or Monty Don and you can get it all done in one day. Because trust me, I bet they don't do it all in one day. I bet they have helpers helping them do certain stuff in their gardens. So try and do a bit year on year and keep improving on that plan. Keep doing a step forward every single year. and eventually you'll get your allotment or your garden looking the way that you want it to look. And I've certainly invested quite a lot over these last few years. And this year I've purchased a load of flowers on it. It's all looking nice with colours. Obviously, I'm wanting to get more and more perennials down there because they'll come back year after year. But I've spent fortunes on bulbs because it looks absolutely fantastic in springtime now. Looks absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, keep planning what you want to do down in your allotment and garden, and eventually it'll start to look fantastic. If you put in the time and the effort, it will certainly pay off the rewards. So that has been our short little episode today. Remember to make a plan, try and stick to your plan, tick it off as you do certain bits, and hopefully you'll get some fantastic produce from your allotment garden. So until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Gardening with Ben. I hope you have found some useful tips and inspiration for your own gardening and allotment journey. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to follow and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss a new episode. And if you have a moment, I'd love for you to leave a review and share the podcast with fellow gardening enthusiasts. Your support helps us grow this community and continue bringing you great content. You can also follow us on social media on every platform called Gardening with Ben for daily gardening tips and updates. Happy gardening, and until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with